I have returned. Back again. Today we're going to be discussing, what do I call it? Pre-launch Kaldheim discussion. That's what I'm going to call this video. So, basically going to discuss what I think will happen with Kaldheim, the set, the latest set, Norse mythology set. Let's go. First, get the hat. Right. I think we should talk about mythological sets historically and what they normally are. Just gonna shift the camera. So, historically, with these mythological sets, I believe it started with, what do you think, guys? So I was thinking about this. That was the first mythological set, Arabian Nights or Kamigawa. Because technically, if you think about it, Arabian Nights, they had the jinns and stuff, which are sort of Arabian, mythology stuff. So maybe that could be it, or Kamigawa. Personally, I think for this comparison, I'm not going to use Arabian Nights because Arabian Nights is just so vintage. It's just you can't really use it to compare a set this modern like Kaldheim. Even Kamigawa, you can't really. In fact, probably most of them you can't. Probably the closest Amon Kitty Cat, as he calls it, or Amon Ketamine, and Aradev. So we're going to start with Kamigawa, which again is a bit different to the others. I'm going to go on this in a minute. Right, Kamigawa. First thing, this is what's different, right? This set here, all the previous sort of mythological sets, they have been in blocks. This is going to be the first one, I believe. I mean, there's kind of mythological ones. There's fantasy, like Throne of Eldraine, which is a singular set. But most of the main mythological ones, they've been in blocks before. So, this one is a single set. That's what we need to know. Right, so historically... One second. Okay, so historically, yep, they've been in blocks. One set. There's this one, there's one set, which is new for these mythological ones. So obviously we start Kamigawa, 3 sets. What's the first one? Just Kamigawa, Betrayers and Saviors. And then we had, what's the next one? Theros, we had 3. So Theros, we're actually 4 now. 4. So we had the original Theros, Born of the Gamble, and Journey to Nyx. And then we had Theros Beyond Death, which didn't do too well, as we all know. Because it has the curse of Theros, as people like to say, Yeah, so it had the curse of Theros. So where obviously everything's being printed quite a lot. And I'll touch on Theros. I'll talk more in depth about Theros in a bit. And then next we had Amonkhet, so next mythological one. So Amonkhet, we had Amonkhet and then Aradev, again a block. So there we go. Now this one is not a block, so historically when they have been in blocks, the first set has always done the best, pretty much. I mean, people like Journey into Nyx, Born of the Gods, definitely. Ooh, I don't like that. But yeah, Journey into Nyx people liked, but it still didn't do quite as well. It's the 3rd set in the series, whatever. But Theros, everyone liked it because it's Greek mythology. Everyone likes Greek mythology. Awesome set, but obviously printed quite a lot. They're a lot overprinted, I guess. Maybe I think it's overprinted, as people say, and that means that it's didn't increase in value too much. Very well. Amonkhet, this is at first release. People didn't really like the cards. They felt it was a bit slow gameplay, I believe, at the time, and they just didn't really like the set. I don't think they didn't give them quite that Egyptian sort of style theme they quite wanted. It's still good, but not quite. And then they had the there was a lot of negativity because of the masterpieces being in there. So they now announced by then that they were going to be doing it for every set. Obviously they didn't, because they didn't do it for Ixalan, and then they just didn't do it. So it just caught everyone off guard, because everyone sort of had negativity, like, oh, they're doing it for every set, there's no point. And actually that was the last set with masterpieces in. So, there we go. That's actually why, and now Amonkhet and now Aradev are actually, I don't know about Aradev actually, but I know Amonkhet is actually starting to increase, It's actually seeing some price increases. So, there we go. That's Amonkhet for you. actually doing pretty well now. Theros, yeah, it's doing well because it's old, but like in terms of how old it is, how old it increased, yeah, not the best. Still pretty decent. Amonkhet doing a bit better though, because of those thingies. Kaldheim is better, but you know, Amonkhet, Ixalan's still doing bad, but that's not mythological. We won't talk about that. Kamigawa, obviously that is doing pretty well because it's very old. But at the launch, I don't believe. Obviously, I wasn't playing Magic back then, but I don't believe people were too into it. And one of the reasons, probably, I'd say, you know, the Shinto. I think it's Shinto. This based off that sort of Japanese mythology sort of stuff. People weren't really as into. It's not a mainstream mythology thing. So the mainstream ones you've got pretty much Greek, Egyptian, Roman. We haven't had a set on that yet. I guess it's too similar to Theros, isn't it? Not that, actually. It could be different. We may get our own one in the future, hopefully. So Roman and Greek, yeah, they've just got similar mythology. Yeah. So Greek, Roman, Egyptian, and Norse, which is the one we're getting with Kaldheim. That's what I actually think might do quite well, you know. It's a mythological set. Normally in the past people have liked it. Not necessarily done too well, but people have definitely liked it because it's mythology. It's not going to be like a garbage set, you know, garbage fire set, whatever you want to call it. It will definitely do decent, that's what I think. So, now we've got to that. Now let's actually talk a bit more about Kaldheim and what I think. My initial predictions when I heard they were doing Kaldheim, I thought this was going to be pretty good and bring people into Magic maybe, because the Vikings TV show brought quite a lot of people into Norse mythology. It was a bit more niche back then, but now it has become more mainstream Norse stuff, Vikings and Viking mythology and stuff. So I think that was why. Also, not just before, like whatever, what was it, October? Assassin's Creed Valhalla released, which, also about Vikings, definitely going to get people into Vikings. So we got the TV show Vikings, Assassin's Creed Valhalla getting people into Vikings, and now we have this Kaldheim set. So all the people who've gotten into it from those things are probably going to enjoy this Kaldheim set. And everyone who's already playing Magic the Gathering is going to see this Viking set and they'll be like, oh yeah, I've just been playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla, yeah, I'll get some Viking, really cool, yeah, woo. So there's that. That is why I thought this was going to do quite well. However, as you know, if you've been online, although not to say this should be a reflection of everyone, because this is just online. Obviously, the main majority of people actually could be really into the set. This is just whatever pre-launch talk, isn't it? So we really just don't know what's going to happen, obviously. But this is just, you know, just talking. So anyways, online, there has been a bit of, not so negative, there has been a bit of negativity, but not as much hype, I think. There's a couple reasons. I believe one of them, people don't seem to be too big a fan of this new non-binary planeswalker. I think it's I don't know, something like that. And it's not the fact they're non-binary, they just don't want Wizards to make it all about her being they. This new character being all about being non-binary, which I don't think it is. Apparently, they've actually got quite a good backstory. Also, if you don't like the look of this new Planeswalker, they'd probably prefer like a big, you know, Viking Planeswalker. But I don't know, man. No one's actually really delved into this set yet. They might come to really enjoy this character. I don't know. Also, another thing, I don't think people are a bit annoyed they didn't create a Viking like class of creature type. Which people were like, oh, we wanted a Viking creature type, whatever. So this is just like online people being like, yeah, we don't like this. It's just online people. A lot of people probably just play on their kitchen tables. You know, probably the vast majority of people who play Magic play on the kitchen table, just buy sets, they like them. Don't even look at this internet stuff. So we shouldn't really use this to make any calculations. That's pretty much all we know. I haven't really gone too much into spoiler season on cards. I think there were people who were quite impressed. They quite liked these. They quite like the uncommon lands. I think there's snow covered coming back. So ultimately, I think it will do pretty well. Maybe not quite as well at launch because it's not just getting that as much hype. I think people have been. I don't know if some people really like Zendikar, but I feel like some people were a bit let down. It was a bit of a letdown. It was still like good, but it just wasn't what we wanted it to be. Same with Command Legends, I believe. So that's why people, that's why people a bit cooled off a bit. They're not really hype about Magic as much. Still good. I mean, this is just internet as well. Like I said again, this is just the internet, people. There isn't really a good representation of the whole Magic community. So anyways, there's that. So yeah, not as much hype, but I do think at release, this is going to sell. It's going to sell like all the previous products. It's always been selling. They have been selling. They've just been selling. All the products sell. Anyways, but I don't think it's going to be like amazing. No one's going to be like, oh my god, Kaldheim. Whoa, buy all of it. Whatever. I don't think it's going to be like that. I think it'll just be a standard product. People buy it. People whatever enjoy it. Whatever. It's not going to be like a home run. Like I don't think it'll be like an absolute home run. Throne of Eldraine is pretty popular. War of the Spark, definitely home run set. War of the Spark. People thought Zendikar would be, but it wasn't really. So I don't think it'll be that. But here's what I think. Here's where I think Kaldheim is really going to flourish. I think in 2 to 5 years' time, whatever, people are going to be like, well, who remembers when flipping 2020 and 2021, when we had crazy ass collector boosters, set boosters, all that crazy stuff? Because, let's be real, they're probably going to ditch that in like a couple of years' time, whatever. Probably have like some combine it all together, have like, I mean, if it's up to me, I don't really know a lot about how to run like this Magic and printing stuff. I don't know a lot about it all. But if it were up to me, what I'd personally like, I'd like just one, maybe a couple different types, but I would just like one sort of booster box, not these 3 different types, and just have these very rare arts which you get in the collector boosters and the sets, the cool stuff from the set, and just make them like rarer to get in the regular, but not like quite as rare if you still want to like, so it's not just like a regular draft booster. No, yeah, make them really rare. That's the only way to get them, because then you wouldn't have chase cards, It'd be good. Everyone likes a chase card in the set. Everyone likes and it'll be like Pokemon more, because Pokemon don't have these standard box where you get hollows and rares, and then they have collector. They don't have that, whereas Magic does with all these flashy cards. In Pokemon, you can get the only way to get the flashy cards is in the regular stuff. Same with Flesh and Blood. The only way to get these things is from the only way to get the really good ones are from the alpha printings. They have a cool system of alpha and sort of unlimited sets for each one. They're trying to copy original Magic, kind of make it good like that with chase cards. So Flesh and Blood's doing pretty well if they continue that. That's good. Anyways, but Magic should probably do this. Have these chase cards instead of having these sets where you always get these cards and they're just not very valuable. They're still like quite a bit of money, but they don't. No one increase. No one's grading them. They're just not that valuable overall because there's quite a lot of them out there. I think they should definitely put them in box in the future, which hopefully they do. And then people look back on this crazy era of when we had them 3 separate ones. 3 separate things, and then they'll be like, who remembers when we flipping had Vikings, Norse mythology gods, crazy like alternate art, flappy dappy flipping cards in these Kaldheim sets, and they're gonna you're gonna be like, let's get some of that Kaldheim stuff. That was just cool drafting that there. Let's draft it. In fact, let's get all these mythological sets, and we're gonna draft them all together with all the gods against each other. That's where I think Kaldheim is going to flourish in like 2 to 5 years time. People are going to be like wanting to go back to all this godly stuff and this weird era of Magic. That's the end of the video. Adios.